Hello everyone, I'm back with another video. Today I just wanted to react to some recent happenings, which is the sweeping victory of the far right-wing party in the Netherlands. If you are new to this channel, hi, my name is Nora and I'm an immigrant living in Antwerp, Belgium now. Belgium being the neighbor of the Netherlands, this issue is particularly worrying to me, but I also find it pretty worrisome for the citizens of the Netherlands. May they be immigrants, may they be native citizens. I think there are some difficult times ahead of them. So let's dive into it. A couple of words about myself still. I'm originally from Hungary and I started this channel as an immigrant here in Belgium to help other immigrants, to share some information and to help or kind of try to mitigate all the disinformation out there about immigrants like myself and migration as well. So this is my main goal here. I have a master's degree in international relations, which basically means that I've studied loads about modern history, right? So 20th century history, and I have a kind of knowledge about what is going on in the world and what has been going on in the world in the past century. So I'm not an economist, but yeah, I'm going to try to give you my most objective, fact-based opinion about the results of the Dutch elections and what I think the consequences might be in the future. So let's start with something that seems pretty radical, even compared to other far right-wing parties' visions for their country, which is Nexit. So the possibility of the Netherlands leaving the European Union, just like the UK did a few years ago. So the leader of the party, Geert Wilders, often referred to as the Donald Trump of the Netherlands by many. So Wilders apparently wants to hold a referendum in the Netherlands to have people to vote if they want an exit. Apparently what I have read is they also want to remove the European Union flags from the institutions because we are in the Netherlands and this is our country. And apparently they also want to introduce work permits for EU citizens, which is, as long as they leave the EU, it's logical that they would do that, right? But one of the main pillars of the European Union is the single market, and that there is free movement of goods and of people. So labor, people who want to work in another EU country and have an EU passport can do it without a work permit. And this is something that he wants to erase, apparently. I think this is problematic for a number of reasons, but I think it's going to be problematic in the long term, which is, of course, what none of the politicians ever think about. They focus on the easy problems or, not something that's gonna have an effect on our lives in 50 years. Nobody plans that far. They just want to win the election for the next 4 years and that's it. So that's an inherent problem in today's political systems, but nevertheless, the aging population issue is going to be a huge problem in most rich countries in Europe, including the Netherlands. The Netherlands at the moment has a population of about 17 million people, if I'm not mistaken, and there are more and more and more elderly people who cannot work. There are less and less and less children being born, so there's not going to be enough people in the working population. There's not going to be enough people working in the country to be able to provide for this unworking group of people in the population, namely the retired people, right? So it's just logical. If there are the people paying taxes, the number of people paying taxes and working is much lower than the number of people who are retired and are not paying taxes but getting their pension from the state, from our taxes. So that's going to be a huge problem. And actually, migration is one of the possible solutions that could help with this problem that most rich countries in Europe are struggling with and are going to be struggling with even more. And to even restrict people from the European Union to go and work in your country, to go and pay taxes in your country, to me is just baffling. Like, why would you want that? And just look at what happened to the UK. The UK used to be the fourth biggest economy in 2000. And now it has already dropped to number 6. The UK was completely messed up by Brexit from an economic point of view. And to be honest, they were a much richer and much wealthier country with a much bigger colonial empire than the Netherlands. So if they were affected this bad, then I just can't even imagine how bad the Netherlands is going to be affected by an exit. Not to mention that one of the worst consequences of Brexit was that it completely ruined the chances for small business owners to expand their businesses to the European Union. I'm just going to give you an example. Like, for example, if someone had a web shop and they were selling, homemade purses within the UK, they were able to expect to expand their business to Europe, right? To the European Union, because the UK used to be part of the European Union, one single market. Now, since Brexit, the administration and everything has become so complicated that they just don't really have the chance anymore to sell their products in the European Union. And if you think about it, the UK has a population of over 67 million people, and the Netherlands has 17 million people. So the small business owners in the UK had a market of 67 million people, okay, depending on who they were targeting, of course. But that's a much bigger market than what small business owners after an exit would have in the Netherlands. And the UK small business owners are already struggling. So imagine what would happen to their fellow small business owners in the Netherlands. And so that brings us to the immigration policy. Of course, they are pretty anti-immigrants, yeah, right? So that goes without saying. I have to say some of the things that Wilders apparently said go even beyond most of the right-wing, far right-wing parties, I think, in Europe. For example, the thought of banning the Quran and closing down mosques. I mean, we still have a European value, right, in the Union, which is the freedom of religion. So this completely goes against all of that. And then last but not least, the climate policy. It's just a complete disaster. So they apparently want to do more extraction of oil and gas from the North Sea. So more fossil fuels, yay! And of course keeping the coal and gas power stations open. So anyway, I really hope that the Dutch people will not vote yes on the Nexit referendum, because then at least maybe the European Union can have a bit of control over this Wilders person. So yeah, what do you think? If there are any Dutch people watching, what do you think? Do you agree with what I'm saying? Let me know in the comments. And thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, then please give it a like. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, and I will see you next week.